All right, so we're going to do our final art project of the semester. And the final art project of the semester is a contour line drawing. So contour lines are lines that follow the form of an object. And you should probably think of it as almost like a wireframe. If you have a wireframe, it basically just shows you a bunch of different lines that give you an idea of what that object looks like. Okay. So as an example, this is an example of what I want you to do. And this was done digitally. You will have your choice whether you do it digitally or actually using, marker and paper, or whatever materials you're going to use. But I'm going to show you how to do it digitally. Okay. So basically, you're going to draw 4 or 5 different views of the same object. In this case, this is a telephone, an old style telephone. And then you're going to combine those into one composition, one drawing. Now, one thing I do want to mention, there's no need to color it in. If you want to, put some color on there, you can, but there's no need to color it. And if you want to use colored lines, that's also fine too. So let me show you what I want you to do. Okay. So you're going to do this in Pixlr. All right. You've used Pixlr before, so it should be fairly easy for you to use for right now. I mean, you should be used to it at least. So I'm going to open up Pixlr E and I'm going to create new, and we'll use 720p for this and create. So I have an empty blank canvas there. And what I want you to do is I want you to find an object or an animal, and I want you to do contour line drawings of that animal, about 4 or 5, and put it on one sheet of paper or one, Pixlr canvas page. Okay. So I'm going to show you what I mean. First, you have to find the pictures that you want. Now, you can take pictures if you have a toy or something like that you want to take a picture of, 4 or 5 different views, then you can do that. Or you can try to find those images online. So for example, I open up a new tab and I type in water bottle, which I've already been searching for. And I find the images there, and I find the image of a water bottle that I like. And I'm going to right hand click on that, and I'm going to save image as. Okay, so I have that plastic water bottle image and I save that. And that's what I'm going to use. Then I'm going to come back to Pixlr, right? And I'm going to use layer, add image as layer, and then find that same water bottle picture and open that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use a different picture. So I'm going to undo that just to show you. It's a little bit easier to show you what I mean. So I found a different view of a water bottle. Once again, add image as layer. And let's see. I will use this one, yes. And I'm going to put that in my layer. Now, the important thing to do is the next thing you have to do is come over here. You can do it up here too as layer, right? New layer. But I'll just go over here and to the plus sign. And I'm going to add an empty layer on top of that. So that's important. So I have my layer 4. And then below that, if I'm trying to scroll down, below that here, I have this water bottle layer. Okay, so on the top layer, above that, I'm going to use the pen tool, but you're more than welcome to use the brush tool if you want. You can find a brush that you like and change the size and the softness, the different type of brush you want to. That's perfectly fine. So I'm just using the pen tool in this example because I want to. All right, so I'm going to change this from sketchy to crayon just because I like the way the crayon looks. And I have this color, but I can change that if I want to as well. So I'll change that to a green so it's a little bit easier to see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically trace around this water bottle. Okay, I'll stop every so often now and then because it makes it easier if I want to undo it, right? Control Z and undo stroke. Control Z, undo the stroke. I can also use the eraser on this as well to erase the strokes I don't like. And I'm not going to do this as carefully as I normally would because I don't want to make this video super long. But I want you to get the idea of what I want you to do. Now, I don't expect these lines to be perfect. That's not necessary. All right, so I have the basic outline of the water bottle, but an outline by itself is not enough. This is not what I want to see. That's a no, okay? Because it doesn't give an idea of the object. So now you have to think about what lines you're going to put inside. What are the contour lines you're going to put inside to give this object some life? So I'm going to go ahead and use the lines that I see. There's a lot of lines here to give this object more meaning, right? Because it's a water bottle, there's probably like little grooves and stuff which you see to make this water bottle have more form. Okay, and again, I'm not doing this carefully because I don't want to make the video very long. But I expect you to be a little bit more careful because you have more time. Now, just doing that, it gives this water bottle a little more life, okay? So what I would do is I would, find another view, that's maybe a side view, a different view, a view from the bottom, and I would put 4 or 5 of these together. And I will show you what I mean a little later on. But I advise you against using water bottles. I want you to find an object or an animal is more interesting to you. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this layer and delete this layer too. And I'm going to use something that's a little bit closer to my heart. So my dogs are coming very, very soon. So I'm going to use a mini peen as my animal, okay? So once again, I'm going to add images layer. I'm going to find a picture of the mini peen that I like. And since this is large, I'm going to go up here to arrange, and I'm going to make this a bit smaller so it fits on there. Right? This is a large picture. So I'm just going to use the corners there just to make it fit on the page, fit on the canvas there. All right. And I'll enlarge that. I'm going to change the color here, right? I can change the color to any color I want. And I'm going to press OK. And then once again, I'm going to go to the pen tool. I'm going to start outlining, okay? So again, I can kind of zoom in here. And it'll be a lot easier for me to get the detail that I want, okay? Oh, yeah, don't forget. I almost forgot. Don't forget to add a layer. Right? Don't forget to add an empty layer above that. This is the layer that you want to use. You don't want to be on this layer. Okay. The reason why, if I do it on this layer, and then I won't be able to see the outline when I erase it because it's on this layer. It's wrong. And if I try to erase it, I'm going to erase the dog. Okay. So don't make that mistake. Or else you're gonna lose a lot of work. Okay. Let me undo that. All right, there we go. So I'm on top. I'm on this layer now, and I'm going to start my outline. Okay. So again, I'm going to outline the outside of the dog first. And once again, I'm not going to do it as carefully as I normally would because I don't want to take a whole lot of time. And once again, you can use a brush or a pen that you like. You don't have to use crayon. And you don't have to use color. It can be black and white, that's fine. You have a lot of different choices on this. If you decide not to do it digitally, again, that is fine with me. But there are some stipulations, okay? If you do this digitally, you are not allowed to use lined paper. You have to use blank paper, Okay, it can be construction paper, it can be colored, but I don't want you using notebook paper if you're not going to do it digitally. If you do not have anything else but notebook paper, then you will need to do this on Pixlr, because you should have your Chromebook. Okay, so you do have choices, but you do have some stipulations, some things that you still have to follow when you do this art project. And remember, this is about line. In the previous lessons, we learned about using thick and thin lines, about the direction of lines. But for this, I want you to practice how to use line to make that object that you decide to draw come alive. All right, so now I'm going to start putting lines inside. And I can follow a lot of different lines inside here, okay? But remember, if I only have an outline, I don't know what this thing is, really. It's still difficult to tell, okay? It could be a wolf, for all I know. So maybe I decide to draw lines that represent the nose and the inside of the nose. Maybe I decide to draw out lines that represent the eyes. Okay, but there are a lot more lines that are in this, the lines that separate the skin on the neck. And I can even draw around this, like the form, okay? And you can see these forms. The more you look, the more you understand what I mean. Okay, this chest comes out. This belly here, it comes out. So I can draw these lines. The lines that separate. The lines that add the form to the legs, the muscles, the lines where the ribs are, separating the body from the legs. Okay? And don't forget the tail too. All right. So that's the basic idea of what I want you to do. All right? And if I get rid of this, it becomes a little bit more apparent. So at least something like this. All right? This is at the very least of what I want you to do. I want you to draw lines, the contours that go around the body and represent that object or animal. All right? I prefer that you do an animal, but if you have an interesting object, an interesting toy, again, you can use that instead of an animal. But for animals, it's very easy on the internet to find different views. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and show you what the end product should basically look like. Let me go ahead and cancel this. I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab and go back to Pixlr. And find what I did before right here. All right. So this is basically what I want you to do. And after you've done your 4 or 5 different views, I've done 5 here in different colors, then you can choose how to arrange them. Okay, you can put them side to side. You can make it smaller if you want and put them around the edges like this. Okay, and you can rotate those too. All right, I want you to decide what and how you want to arrange the composition. I'm not going to tell you how to do that, but I want you to have these 5 different contour line drawings. The line is the most important. You don't have to add shading, and that's why you can do this digitally. You don't have to paint it. You don't have to color it in. I decided to, use different colors for my lines, but you don't have to. So I want you to do something like this. This is your last assignment of the semester, okay? You're going to draw a contour line drawing of an object or an animal for 5 different views. 4 at the very least. You can do 10 or more if you want to as well. But you don't have to spend that much time. So this should probably take about an hour or so, maybe longer, depending on you. But you have a lot of time to do this, okay? If you have any questions, you can always ask me. I will be here to help you. But this is the basic idea of what I want you to do for the art project, okay?